Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
How you guys doing? Late night, Cappy. This is the only time to get it done. Only time. A guy who would like to remain anonymous has wanted a Clarey test on Robert A. Heinlein. Don't let the early socialist stuff throw you off. He grew up and is quoted as saying, Ayn Rand is a bloody socialist compared to me, best known as the sci-fi author behind Starship Troopers and Moon is a Harsh Mistress. We'll keep him anonymous. Alright, so I pulled up Robert Heinlein. Robert Heinlein was an American science fiction writer, often called the Dean of Science Fiction Writers. He wrote sometimes controversial works, which continue to have influence on the science fiction genre and on modern culture more generally. Heinlein became one of the first American science fiction writers to break into mainstream magazines such as the Saturday Evening Post in the late 40s. When was he born? 1907, okay. He was one of the best-selling science fiction novelists for many decades, and he, Isaac Asimov, and Arthur C. Clarke are often considered the big three of English-language science fiction authors. Stranger in a Strange Land, Starship Troopers, which helped mold the Space Marine and Mecha archetypes. Really? Is that where it came? And The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. Editor of numerous short stories. Beidou came to prominence at editorship 1937. Alright, so he was 30 years old. So he does have private sector experience. He's been a writer this entire time. And this is one of those things with the degree. It's like, okay, this guy's old enough that a degree was a good degree, and writing could have been considered a profession. Today, writing is not a profession coming from the author, but the vast majority of writers or journalists are just spoiled little millennial putzes who live on mom and dad and work for free at some online magazine. It's not, they don't even do it, write anything good. Birth and childhood. Oh, he was in the Navy. Alright, good man. 1907, he born to an accountant. Sixth generation. The Heinleins fought in every American war, starting with the War of Independence. Definite influences, fiction. Okay. Alright, so his dad was an accountant. You know what? Gets a point for that. Accountant meant something back then. No offense to Chad Elkins today. Navy. Graduated from U.S. Naval Academy, Annapolis, Maryland, class of 1929. Went on to serve as a naval officer. He signed to the new aircraft carrier USS Lexington, 1931. Worked in radio communications, so still has real-world working experience. Captain of the carrier was Ernest J. King, who served as the Chief of Naval Operations Commander-in-Chief U.S. Fleet during World War II. Heinlein was frequently interviewed during his later years by military historians. They asked him about Captain King and his service. Served on the U.S. Roper. Joined the Missouri National Guard, Chief of the Arabia. Major General? Dude, he's like, oh, jeez. Wow, Catherine. Wow. Well, that's not right. No. Who was it? Jimmy Stewart. Jimmy Stewart was a brigadier general. 1929, married, only lasted years. Second marriage, lasted 15. Extremely liberal, though registered as a Republican. Time as a flaming red liberal. Discharged due to pulmonary tuberculosis. Oh. Developed the design for a waterbed. Mathematics and physics. He studied mathematics and physics. Alright, so even if he was, he didn't have a worthless degree. Supported himself at several occupations, including real estate sales, silver mining, but for some years found money in short supply. He was active in Upton Sinclair's socialist end poverty in California movement in the 1930s, which seems to work great now, right? Huh? That's socialism, right? He wrote The Jungle, didn't he? Think about it. Put up a homework active campaign, but was unsuccessful. While not destitute, he had a small disability pension, turned to writing to pay off his mortgage. So he started writing. Worked at a shipyard. Stonemasonry, a hobby of stonemasonry. Take it between life and peritonitis, recovery of which I some more too. Wrote in 73. Went to Worldcon. I mean, by this time he's in his 70s, late 60s. Testify. How old was he when he in 1988? Oh, so he's in his 60s. After he reached 65, later death in life. I mean, so he kept working. Citizens Advisory Council. He's becoming somewhat of a quasi-statesman. Nonprofits. Work series, early work. Influences politics, race, individual sexualism, philosophy. Oh yeah, you know, you get these authors in there. A bunch of other authors write about what the guy meant to, he said to be, and how'd he die? Kind of curious. Later work. Introduced 5 new novels. He worked until a year before he died. Yeah, this guy's great. He gets a 1 only because he came from a well-off to-do family, I presume, unless someone tells me. But his dad didn't bail him out. Looked like he had to work really hard jobs. Of course, that was during the Great Recession. If he had to work all those jobs, I mean, Dad didn't help him out that much. You know what? We'll cut that down to half a point. If he came from wealth, then Daddy would have spoiled him. But he still came from, I'm going to assume, pretty well-to-do for Great Depression standards. Gets half a point. Would I like to have a beer with him? Hell yes. And I don't even think I've read one of his. I saw some movies, though. You know what's great about books? The good ones are made into movies, so you don't have to read anything. It's wonderful. And you know what's also great? No, the book is not better than the movie. That's just what you bookworms say. Guarantee you, when they make Bachelor Pad Economics, the movie, it's going to be way better than the book. You say, God damn it, why did I buy this book? Because I won't care, because if that actually turns into a movie, or any of my books turn into a movie, I'm making a shit ton of money on it. That's... Behind the Housing Crash would have made a good movie, but they made another movie called The Big Short. And that was good, but in a different way. Anyway, should he have ran for public office? He most certainly should have. But I think he was just having too much fun writing. And he did participate politically. It's just maybe running for office wasn't his thing. All right, that's it. Asshole Consulting. Questions, Clarey tests. www.assholeconsulting.com. We'll see you all later. Toodles.